Hi, welcome to Smack's video tutorials. In this tutorial we'll talk a bit more about the advanced features of listings. There's so many things you can do with listings, and we've got a few more beautiful things we'd like to share with you. So in listings we've got listings details. So our listings detail is these pages. This is our listings detail. We've got the title, code, summary, image, price, if we've got e-commerce, the category, the type, options, main text. This is the area we're going to be looking at. So the listings detail can have further options as well. So these are further selectors that you can choose to segregate your listings, to specialize your listings. Additional search numeric, search 1, search 2. And you can also group listings together. So when you click on one listing, now this listing is very similar to the one that you've had. So we can group listings as well. Let's do that. We've got the sort by. So when we're looking at listings, the default we can choose how to sort your listings. So we've got all these different options here. Login is required to view listings. We can also have that the web user needs to have an account to view your listings. We've got various ways of navigating through pages of listings, and then here we've got our listings images. These are our criteria for the image. So we want all our images on this site to be square. So when we upload an image, it will default to this square. So we're going to have to crop to a square area, which is quite nice. It makes sure that all your listings, the images in your listings, look similar. And then we have another image as well. We've got two main images of our site. We've already looked at that in another video. And then we've got a few search systems here, whether we're not in the search bar. We search for a complete site, we search for my listings, blog, news. So we've got a few areas here where we can specify when the user clicks search, where does the search. We've got quick search Ajax, which is a bit like the Google preemptive search. It will show you the search results before you click. And then we have a Google API for maps, so that's good. So we're looking at the listings detail. Let's go into, we've just added these new items here. So let's now see how that's changed our listings detail page. Go in here, reserve doctor, and in here we've got additional search numeric. This could be how many rooms in a house, how many rooms in an apartment. It could be all sorts of ways of filtering out your listings. So you could add that one. These are text only. So when you enter text here, if the user enters text, then it will pick up whatever keywords that you've added in here. So let's look at our additional search numeric. How do we set up these options in here? It's like a listings type, but in listings type you had a very easy way of adding listings type. But this really is an additional. You might not need it. So if you do need it, it's a little bit more complicated to set up, but we'll show you how to do that. So we go into listings, we go into dictionary, and we go into my listings. Actually, we go into additional search numeric, and you can see here each of these items here are separated by a comma, and that comma means that it is another data selection. So I could say one select 5, 6, okay. This could be number of rooms, it could be whether or not the, let's say if you're displaying properties, whether it has a swimming pool, it really anything that you can think of in here. And this is your title for that. So you could say, well, select number of rooms, for instance, in here. Now this can also, you can also have a category for this as well. So there's no reason why you couldn't have another category in here saying number of rooms, and then you add each listing to that number of rooms. So there's nothing really that you can't create in my categories, because this is very, very, very powerful. You could have another top level number of rooms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and when you add a product, you can do it that way. We'll have an example for that. So let's now go back into one of our listings. We've now changed our numeric listing, so additional search numeric, and we've changed that for 1 select 6 OK. So what that means now is this could be 1 room, 2 room, it could be professional, unprofessional. This is another additional setup that you have. But as we were talking about the additional categories that we can add, well, let's do that. So now we're going to have, I just want to, as we're on the subject, we're going to look at my listings, and we're looking at pizzas, and now we're going to have a new category on the crust of a pizza. So my categories, we're going to go into my categories, and we're going to go add, and we're going to go pizza crust, and we're going to add category name, and now we're going to add another category, and we're going to say crispy, and then we're going to add that under pizza crust, and we're going to say with crust with mozzarella. Not sure how you spell mozzarella. Mozzarella. Anyway, mozzarella, pizza crust, crust with meat, pizza crust. So now we've got another category. So what we were talking about, having another additional search numeric as being a number of rooms, but you can do the same thing. We could say additional search numeric is pizza crust, and instead of 1, 2, we have the different crusts of a pizza. But as I was saying as we were talking about, you can do the same again with the categories. So now we go into our pizza, and we're going to go, rather than looking in additional search numeric, because this is just general on all of the thing, we can go straight into pizza crusts in here, and we can say crispy pizza crust. So you could have 20 different categories that really explain this item. So that's really nice. And then we can take this top level category, and we can input it into our system. So let's do that now as we're on the subject, and we're going to have in here pizza crust. I just want to show you how powerful it is to really drill down on specific items. We've covered this before in another tutorial, but this time we'll just go through it again, because it's a very important area, this. Okay, so we'll go into this area here is our menu bar, and we're going to go and look at, that's the sidebar and sidebar plus. The sidebar plus is on this side. So we're going to take this here, top level, I'm going to go pizza crust. Now we covered in a earlier tutorial, these numbers need to be different. 1, 2, 2. That won't work. So you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be 1 to 10. You can't have 36 or 30. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's have a look to see what now. So we need to refresh our main template shell, and we can see, oh, we got the same categories here. Well, that's not going to work. So what's happening there? We got the same number, 17379. This is a different top level category. We need to update that. So we go into my categories and we look at developer, and we can see pizza crust is 17383. So now we go back into our web pages, 17383, and save that and refresh. And now we're seeing we've got our pizza crust. So that's working really well. Now I'm going to go crispy pizza crust. I'm seeing this one. Perfect. I'm seeing crispy crust with mozzarella. None. Yeah. So we have just gone into the nitty-gritty of my listings. We've looked at setup, and we've looked at setup how we can differentiate our listings with the listings type. But similarly, the additional search numeric, but similarly we can do that with categories. So I hope, and we'll look at the similar listings while we're on this subject, and we can bunch listings together. So let's say we've got rent a saw. So this needs to be active. The similar listings needs to be activated in here for this to work. Okay. So we've got a circular saw, and we think, hey, when you get to a circular saw, that's very similar to another item. So we're going to add a similar listing. So when the user gets on the saw, they're going to realize this is the perfect other option. So there's similar listings to group with this listing. So we're going to go, that's very similar to a pneumatic drill. Add. So now in here we've got electric saw. These are bunched together. Electric saw and pneumatic drill will be linked together. So if you go into drill, you're going to see saw. If you go on saw, you're going to see drill. They're almost like little sub areas, and we can remove that as well if we prefer. So that's quite nice as well. So I think we've pretty much covered listings, the setup, options. Thank you very much for watching.